Hey everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and today we're going to learn how to do some general maintenance on your paintball markers. Okay, so we've got a Cronus today, and we have two versions, or there is two versions of the Cronus. There is the tactical, and then the standard basic version. The Cronus tactical comes in the tan that you see here. It also comes in an olive, and then the standard comes in just the tan. So we are going to work with the basic, just because it comes with less things on it that we need to take off. All of these features, the barrel, the top rail, the stock, everything can just come off easily with the Cronus. You don't need a lot of wrenching or anything. So instead of wasting time and having you guys watch me take things off like that, we'll just skip to the meat of the gun, which will be the basic right here. I've already got the front grip off, the barrel insert, which goes inside of here, and the barrel itself I have taken out. One note, the barrel insert right here, you can't take it out without separating the two halves of the shell apart. I've already taken some screws off and separated the shell halves apart just to make sure everything was right on the inside, and then I didn't put that back in. So I just left it out because we're going to have to take it out anyway. Another feature with the Cronus is the feed neck. Over here, it is not removable. It is part of the back half of the gun. So unlike the 98 Custom or the 98 Platinum, I guess I should call it, where this is removable, it is not on this one. So we will not take it off. It will always be kind of sitting at a funny little angle now. It's no big deal though. I've already loosened up a lot of screws on here, so it's easy to take apart. As with any gun that you're working on, make sure it is degassed, make sure it is safe to work on, doesn't have any paintballs in it, isn't actually going to go off when you open it up. So easiest way to do that, cock the gun back and shoot it. Make sure that there's no air inside of it. All right, so I'm going to move this one kind of out of the way, and then we'll just focus on this one here. So to take this one apart, you just need to do the big screws on the outside. There is one screw that it really isn't hidden, but if you don't take it out, it will not come apart. And it is on the back side. And it is not an Allen key screw. It is a Phillips. It's on the back side of the grips right here. So make sure that you do remove that one. Otherwise your frame won't separate. And you'll be pulling and yanking on it and kind of trying to figure out why it doesn't come apart, and it's because of that screw on the back. So all my other ones are done except for the middle one, which I left to make sure it all stays together. So let's undo that one and get it apart. Pretty sure everything else is good on here. Yeah, all right. So if you can't just separate it with your fingers and pull it apart, you can always use a flathead screwdriver. Just gently put it in between the two and pry it up. Gently. When I say gently, I do mean gently. Put it in there. Like that. Now as you pry this up, just like the 98 Custom, the back side right here is going to want to come up with the top half, or the left side shell. So we'll want to make sure we keep that pushed down as we separate everything, and it will keep everything from jumping out as we open it up. Your Cronus also might have, if it's brand new, this little rubber cap on the cocking handle. If you don't have it on there, it's not a big deal. You don't need to have it on there. If you do, you want to make sure that you take it off before trying to pull the halves apart. With this on, this half will not slide up over it. It does need to come off of there if it's on. So let's go ahead and pull the rest of this off here. Keep that down and just gently, sometimes you kind of have to wiggle it a little bit to get it off of there. And usually the safety will come out with it right there. If it doesn't, the safety stays down in that side, no big deal. All right, so maintenance on the inside of this is really simple. It's, I would say, even more simple than the 98 Custom or the 98 Platinum. A couple things you're going to look at. Obviously, you can just wipe everything down. You can pull everything out, wipe it down, and just give it a good cleaning, because that's probably why you're in the gun in the first place. Just to do general maintenance, which is cleaning and oiling, lubrication. The points of lubrication on this gun are going to be, you can put a little bit on the bolt tip O-ring right here. You don't need to, but you can. The striker, where it comes inside the valve, there's an O-ring on there. The sear's got a little bit of oil on it. You don't really need that to be oiled for any reason. I think this is just residual oil from when they assembled the gun. And then where the transfer tube comes down and connects inside the ASA, there's an O-ring inside there that we want to make sure is oiled as well, or greased, that one, but either way. So let's start taking everything out so that we can get to the core parts and look at those. So we are going to first remove the cap right here. We're going to just lift it up out of its grooves and slide it out. We've got our mainspring, our bumper O-ring. It is okay that that is loose. Don't worry about it. It does not seal or sit anywhere in particular. It just floats on that thing and acts as a cushion. When the hammer slides back against this piece, it acts as just a little bumper inside of there. So you can pull that out. Underneath this back cap is the mount for your stock. Keep it capped so that you don't get dirt and grime into the screw there. From there, we can start removing the screws or the springs for our trigger assembly. Our trigger spring, gently get that out of there. You want to make sure that it doesn't pop out and you lose it. The linkage arm for the trigger and the trigger itself. And the trigger rides on a pin. Now, depending on the top shell, when you pull it apart, some of these pins I have seen stick inside the top shell. So this pin might come out with it. You just want to remember where your pins go. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. And if they come out, it's not a big deal. Just put them back where they went. We can then pull out the trigger that actually rides against the sear mechanism. And if this is dirty or anything, just wipe it down. Easy peasy. Pins right here. These are all the same pin. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one is the same. This one is a little different, just a different color. I think it might be a different height too. Yeah, it is slightly taller. Well, actually, no, it's not. It was just lifted up a little bit. But it is a little bit different, so make sure that one stays in its right spot. Sear spring, take it out. Sear, take it out. And now we can get to the meat of the gun right here. This just slides out. This is your cocking handle that goes through the hammer assembly. It just slides right out. As you can see, there is a hole in the middle of it. The hole needs to line up so that the spring can pass through it. So the spring will go through like this when it's inside of there. So we're going to take that out, fall over there. Now, once these pieces are out, we can actually rotate the bolt and the hammer up so that we can get to the linkage arm and pull it out. Once the linkage arm or the whole system is facing up or towards you, you can just pull the arm out. We can slide our bolt off the front. And there's an O-ring at the front right here. This just helps seal the gun or seal the bolt to the barrel when it's attached, when it's inside here. Because the bolt's actually going to go inside like that and then fire. So sealing up the inside here, making sure all the air moves forward, pushing the ball, not backwards, helps with velocity issues. So if it's cut, chipped, crushed, anything like that, you can just take it off and replace it. You don't really need to oil it. You can put a very light little bit of grease or oil on there. Not necessary though. All right, and then we can pull the hammer out like so. And the hammer does have one O-ring on the front of it, so you want to take that one off, inspect it. If you can't get it out by kind of pinching it forward and rolling it off of there, use a pick it off of there. That's a very specific O-ring right there. We sell them through the website, so you would definitely want to replace that. If your gun's having issues recocking itself, it's sputtering when it shoots, sounds like it's out of air, check that O-ring in there, because when the hammer comes in and strikes the valve opens up and lets air come out to push the ball, but some of that air actually comes backwards too and pushes against the hammer and pushes the hammer back this way and recocks it on the sear. So if this this O-ring is not sealing when it is inside the valve assembly right there, then it can't be pushed back and it doesn't recock. So it'll just go brrrr, and it will keep firing like it's out of gas or having an issue. So check that and make sure that this is clean and make sure that it is oiled as well. Very important, this one right here. This is part of like the guts of the gun right there. And then inside of that is just a spacer insert. When we put this in, we always want to make sure that this obviously is facing up so that our pin can go through it, and that this is then facing backwards so that our spring can go through it. Kind of locks everything together, keeps it from rotating around inside there. All right, so at this point, we could do lots of cleaning inside of there. Check our ball detent right there, make sure that that is good and fresh and the arm is working on there. Over time, when the bolt sits forward, these can just deteriorate and they stop losing their ability to keep one ball in the breech at once. So just replace it. Check it every once in a while, replace it if need be. Make sure that you install it properly, that it goes this way with the ramp facing the bolt. If you install it this way, and it does fit just the same inside of there, when the bolt comes forward, it will clip this, bend it up, and break it. So make sure that you install your detent properly. So when the bolt comes forward, it just flattens it down, and then it pops back up. All right, so line right here. Cool thing about the Cronus is it uses an internally plumbed line, so a gas-through grip setup right here. One drawback to that is that where the gas-through line comes up and it attaches to the valve, there's a thread sealant on this where it screws into the valve. So I can't pull that apart for you right here because when I put it back together, it would just leak. The valve that is inside there is like an old 98 custom valve where it has a threaded body. I can kind of move it though so you can get it out. If you do need to remove the power tube assembly, which is right here, you do have to actually unscrew it from the gun. And on the back side right here, there are two holes here and here, and they have the two screws that go into the power tube and hold it in place. So let's take that out. There's one. And two. And that will let us lift the power tube assembly away. We don't need to take this out to get our ASA out though. We can actually kind of wiggle this up. You see how this whole thing rotates? We can just pop this off here. Now inside of here, there's an O-ring that's down inside of there. And that O-ring is what seals on the tube right there. So if you have a leak from the ASA at the bottom or the bottom of your grip frame, that O-ring would be the culprit right there. So we'd want to change that O-ring out. You're going to get a pick, get the pick in there, get the O-ring out, replace it, put some oil or grease on it, put it back together, and that should solve any leak down at the bottom that isn't related to the tank itself. All right, so we can pull that out now. So we've got this piece here, and this just freely rotates, but again, where that goes in, it is Loctite or there's a thread sealant on it. So I can't just pull it apart and remove the valve. But a very similar valve assembly as the 98 Platinum series, but it is the old style where it was held in with two screws on the side to mount it in place and keep it from moving around. Velocity adjustment still in the same place. So it's a very, very clean, very basic setup in there, which is nice because you don't have to worry about a lot of things going on right there. If for some reason you do need to remove this because you're having a valve issue and you're going to replace the valve, make sure that you either re-Teflon or Loctite this into place when you put it back into the valve assembly. All right, so we can drop that back down in there. And that really is maintenance for the gun. Cleaning, lubricating. There's a very small amount of parts to actually do any kind of true maintenance. You don't have any regulators to worry about. It's just basically a simple working gun, which requires cleaning and requires a minor bit of looking at O-rings and re-lubricating. Very, very simple setup. So let's throw it back together. I'm going to put this in so I don't forget like I did last time. We'll start with Actually, we'll start with reassembling the valve back into the gun. Now we could do that at the very end, but I want to make sure that the power tube assembly doesn't come out as I'm doing anything to it. So I want it to be safe and set into place. So I'm going to work on that first. My pin for my trigger popped out, so that can go there. We're going to take our hammer, our bolt, and as you can see, I've got the pins up, so I can connect them like this, like that, and then I can rotate them over. I want to make sure that the insert that's in there is facing the right direction, so that can slide through. And then this can come in from the other side and make it through as well. Now I can take my cap, make sure I'm going through the center hole with the drive nail, and set that in place as well. And again, this just flops around inside. That is okay. Don't worry. All right, let's pick this, push it on, and then line it up so that it drops in place. That we'll put on last. That's our, goes through our frame. Put our trigger assembly in here. It's going to go in there. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. And then together. So make sure that goes on. Make sure everything's in there in a good spot. Then we can set it down and push. Now if your gun, when you drop it down on there, it doesn't go back together, don't force it. Take the time, undo the screws again, or not undo the screws, take the half off and put it back together. So we'll put that on there. I'm only going to put that one screw in again because that's really all you need, just to get it set. And then put this other side in. And make sure you tighten down all your other ones all around the outside, and you're ready to go. Well guys, I hope this helps you out with any questions or concerns you have about your paintball gear or products. And as always, for all your paintball needs, shop ansgear.com.